As we move on to easily the best thing from Monday's show involving Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Drew comes out to say that Roman doesn't work a full-time schedule anymore, and he wants to bring honor and prestige back to the undisputed WWE Universal title. He wants to bring both these titles back to Raw and SmackDown, and he makes a very bold claim that I've been carrying this company on my back for the last 3 years. That's why it hurts so much, because I've been putting in that work in front of the camera, behind the scenes. And that leads to Kevin Owens coming out saying, really, you are the one carrying this company on your back? I think not. In fact, I don't think you know who you are. You were a kilt one minute, you carry a sword the next. You talk in this very jokey accent, and you're trying to sound like a tough guy when you're not. I know who I am. I'm the prize fighter. I've been here for well over 6 or 7 years now. I've been in the game more than 20. And I think about where I was 6 years ago in this arena facing Sami Zayn, a battleground, a classic match that still holds up. The fans remember it. And I want to be that guy again. I want to be the prize fighter, Kevin Owens, a guy that has not had a championship in WWE in over 5 years. And he wants a championship of any variety: Universal, Tag Team, Intercontinental, U.S. title. If you got a title in WWE, Kevin Owens wants it. And Drew McIntyre was not going to stand there and take this. He lets them know, listen, don't come for me. I know who I am. They fired me after being the chosen one 15 years ago. I was down and out, had to scratch and claw my way back here. They called me. I didn't call them. And I beat Brock Lesnar. I beat Goldberg. I beat Randy. I beat them all to be WWE champion twice. So don't ever come for me with that BS. And then the line that got me is, we're two wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's freaking wrestle. KO was down. We get the match. It was absolutely fantastic for 20 minutes. The DQ will win things. But this was just great professional wrestling for over half an hour, from the promo to the match, and both guys talking their shit authentically. And the crowd was hyped for everything they said and did in the ring. I thought this was easily the highlight of Monday's show, and it reasserts Kevin Owens as a player for a championship in WWE. And I got my eyes on which one or ones they could be down the road.
This was an excellent segment. When Kevin Owens was becoming a free agent, and, before the Vince McMahon sat him down and said, hey, I'm going to give you the main event with Stone Cold if you sign right here on the dotted lines. Before he offered him that contract, I said that Kevin Owens could potentially be the biggest acquisition that AEW could get, because he could do everything. He has this connection with the audience that, you just can't teach. Like, certain people just have a natural connection with the audience, and he's got that. He's one of the best talkers in the business, not just WWE, in the business. I'll let him talk against anybody, and he'll be able to hold his own, if not walk all over them. He's that good. You can put him in any role, and he will knock it out the park. I mean, we've talked about this on this show. We've praised him countless times to be able to build a match with Stone Cold by yourself, when all Stone Cold did was drive out in the middle of his 200-acre backyard and on his four-wheeler and record a video promo and sent it in and was like, yo, I'm good to WrestleMania, right? And they were like, yeah, you're good. We got KO. And he took care of the rest. From doing that to getting Ezekiel over to people caring about him, to the point now where people are like, oh, look at this. We got our freaking Eddie Murphy of the WWE, since he's playing 6 different characters. He's now, or whatever, Martin, whatever you want him to be, he's that. Like, for him to have that, to go right back to the prize fighter and it all be believable, and it all be, where you care. You want to see Kevin Owens do his thing. Even his side story that Keila's very excited with an old friend of his, that it's got her very excited about. He's able to do all that and have all these layers to him and keep that connection and keep that credibility. If he goes for the Universal title or whatever title, it's believable. One, because he's going to talk you into believing, hey, Kevin Owens might mess around and win this. And two, he's just got that when he steps in the ring, especially when he's got that prize fighter look. He was believable this entire match with Drew McIntyre, even though he's been going 50, not 50-50, but toe-to-toe with Ezekiel. That's Kevin Owens. That's how good he is, man. I can't tell you how excited I am that we're getting this Kevin Owens back going forward, because that means like we're going to see that Kevin Owens that came and debuted in my hometown of Richmond, Virginia, and laid out John Cena in his U.S. title and walked and stepped on the U.S. title as he walked out holding the NXT title. We're going to get that smug badass that doesn't care who's in his way. I'm so excited to get this Kevin Owens back.
He is so versatile. He can give you sociopath. He can give you babyface. He can give you silly heel. He can troll you with a Stone Cold entrance twice. He can get Ezekiel over. He can threaten Roman Reigns. He can put on a great match against Drew McIntyre. And he hooks a crowd every single time. And Kevin Owens, outside of maybe, I want to say Seth Rollins, is probably the most believable person that I could envision beating Roman Reigns for that championship. We saw him almost do it 3 times nearly 2 years ago. That is his power. He is very capable of doing every little thing right. And he can be on a slide for a couple of years. He can be called a liar. He can be Seth Rollins' best friend. He can be anything to anybody and still maintain his heat in any role. And Drew McIntyre, I think about where he was a couple of years ago, literally being a champion in a pandemic and nobody was there. And he did what he needed to do. And it's so nice to see him regain that confidence and speak more freely on the mic and let everybody know that what I got a couple of years ago is not enough. I didn't get that full coronation that was owed to me, but the world flipped upside down. And he wants to get it right this time with people behind him. And I feel like both guys got something to prove, and we got stories in place to see that come to fruition.